Hello beautiful people, welcome once again to my YouTube channel. My name is Beatrice Chimpi and I'm glad that you've chosen to join us today. Please, the new viewers, you're most welcome, and consider subscribing. To the old viewers, you're much welcome once again. And so today we are going to be sharing about house helps, the common mistakes we make when we are having or choosing house helps. And together with me to discuss this topic is Mrs. Mabike once again. You're most welcome, madam.
I'm Victoria Mabike, and I'm an orthopedic officer, a mother of 4, been married for 10 years, and public health officer, real estate manager. Nice to see you all. Thank you so much for being with us today.
And so, having 4 children, being married for 10 years, all these things, Vicky, I don't think we can run away from having a maid. What do you think?
We cannot, or we may, as depending on what aspect you take it in. But maids are important as well. Though we have had difficulties here and there. Let's go through and see some of the mistakes that we make as we're choosing maids that we're supposed to stay with, especially with our children.
And the first point is thinking that these maids, it's their job. Like when they're in your house, you have to clean the toilet, you have to mop, you have to feed the baby, you have to arrange, like every other thing in the house is their job.
I don't think it is really a good thing to just think that it is their job. Remember that they're just coming to help us. Then some of us make a very big mistake of sitting and then they are doing everything. You watch all television programs from the beginning to the end. But I think, as they say, house helps. They're supposed to help us. They're the help that we just need. Just helping, not like everything that is supposed to be done. That is their responsibility. Yeah,
they are supplementing us. They are, helping us to do our God-given roles, or our roles. Because you find that if we leave all these roles to them, we are losing out on something. Some people, we don't even know the corners of the house. We don't know whether the sugar is about to get done, whether the portion is still there, because everything is the maid who knows.
It has even gone to the extent of children. They know our children better than us. Why would you miss an opportunity like that? It is you that is supposed to know your child, then someone helps you, or maybe where they've done this wrong or that, but we're supposed to know our kids better and our houses better.
Wow, thank you so much. The second point I was thinking about was we make mistakes when bringing these people, employing them, getting them from unreliable sources.
Yes. That is one of the biggest errors we are having these days. You know, you get someone from just anywhere, or just someone told you about someone, which is not really fair. Sources are more important than, because you're bringing someone who is a stranger to your home. Why would you? I think it is always better if you got someone from a person that at least is reliable, that will give you concrete information. I think it would really help us, and it also causes, it helps in security, because we've seen maids who have actually mugged the whole house. They
run away with stuff, they steal things, like we shall see in the the episode to come.
Worst is even killing. There are killings that we have heard of.
But if someone is from a reliable source, it means that they are limited to the things they can do, to the bad things they can do, because they have a name to protect. Imagine you got a maid, your mom in the village got you a maid, maybe a sister to, a child to her sister. This person, I don't think, I'm not saying that they are perfect, but they are really extremely, from experience, better than people we get from, these villagers, the ladies who bring maids. You hear the woman who sells matoke, who sells charcoal, brings maids. These people are in business. So what they do is they keep protecting these maids in different homes for a fee. You find that someone, you paid them, in the morning only to open the door is wide and a maid has gone. So I think unreliable sources.
Unreliable sources is one of the biggest mistakes that we do as ladies and as people who need the help anyway.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is also living very important roles to our households. Like, especially one of the most important is our husbands, then our children, that we live every little thing. At least have that time to cook for your kids that special meal. Have that time to cook for your husband that special meal. Serve him if you can. If you're not around, please try to show that you are the overtaker. You own it. Own it. Try to own your responsibilities. Yes.
Yeah, you're living, as we do that, the disadvantages are we are losing out on bonding with these children. Children are funny. The person who feeds them, the person who cleans them, is the person they take to be caring. There's an experience where a mother can enter the house and the baby is just crying for the auntie. And the kid doesn't want anything to do with you because they know you as a stranger. You leave very early, you come back very late. So you can make resolutions and say, I'm feeding my baby. Like that is one of the resolutions I'd ever made, whereby I knew that they have to feed at a specific time, and I make sure I feed them. Homework, you find people who have maids who have gone to school, they even go ahead and do homework with the children. Not fair at all. Not fair at all.
Yes, sure. Then there is also another very big mistake of overbonding. This is a human being. Like even our own kids, they'll reach a time and leave. They'll leave home. What about someone who has come to help you? Their time for living will always come. But there is this kind of attachment where we are too bonded that we think they will stay forever. Then we get really heartbroken and down when it is their time to go. Actually, someone might not even live in a fair way. Like you have said, you find, I have a friend who found the door wide open while the lady had left.
And the children are there?
Yes, the child was there, so it wasn't. Actually, I also have a tenant who had a very sick child, and this girl had stayed for, I think, like around 2 years. And we had thought, this is someone who understands, and then the girl even had a cannula. But when she got, I don't know what happened, whatever the reason is, she just left. So you should always leave that gap, however, there could be disadvantages and disadvantages, but there is always that gap that someone has to come, and their time to leave will also come.
And that brings us to our other point, where we ignore red flags. The more someone, this is both ways. Sometimes we are not bonded. Sometimes we are, the struggle is real. The struggle of getting a maid is real. So when someone enters your home, you feel like, now I'm off the hook. This one has to stay. Week one, someone backs at your children, beats your children even when you're around, abuses them when you're hearing, talks to you back in a bad way, disrespects your husband. But because you have been trying really hard to even get this one, you feel like they are unnecessary. You can't do without them. So the bonding also is to that when you overbond with a maid, you start even ignoring red flags.
Sure.
And for sure, about the story you said about your friend who had
a sick child,
a maid for 2 years, you'd expect this person is now a family member.
Exactly.
Because what happens is when these people stay for quite long, we tend to feel free with them. You feel free. You can't even tell them you can go with a baby to the road. You give them that liberty. But I think we kind of have to be reserved.
Yes, it's a mistake. We have that. There should be those reservations. Yes.
And you should have limits.
Yes, of course.
Whereby in my home, if you do this, that's a no-go. You have to go. So
that drives us to another point that I've thought of, that is setting boundaries. We need to set boundaries to where some of them are not disciplined. You'll find someone on someone's bed. Have those boundaries, have those limits. We need limits as we bring in these strangers, because surely they're strangers.
Actually, you gain respect. For the longest of time, when I just gotten maids, I would always have younger maids, so I would feel like, oh, my daughter, oh, my girl, I would take them so personal that you can easily tell them, mommy, come and pick the money, you're in the bedroom, you allow them to. That, over time, they start disrespecting you. But the maids whom I've shown boundary that this way to the bedroom is a no-go zone, they respect you. Once they have some corners of the house where they cannot reach, mostly your bedroom, they will respect you. When they have some things that they cannot do, they know I can never serve uncle. Finally, maybe for those people who have their jobs outside of the country, but when sit with your husband and you know, and make rules. At times, husbands have to be flexible enough to go and serve themselves food if the food is there, so that we remove that over familiation. You know, someone familiates you to that boy.
That is, of course, setting the boundaries, like you said. Then, about the age, that actually what she talked about is another very important issue. One of the mistakes we make while we're choosing the house helps. We have an issue of the age. I think it is always better we talk about looking for the right ages, not over old. Someone who has failed in their marriages. Because most of them have failed in their marriages.
25 and above is
25 and above, 30, 35, 40. They will want to do what they failed to do or what they did and failed, whatever it is.
Vicky,
they'll try to experiment.
I've had, I think, a 45-year-old, but I'll tell you the truth. At the end of the day, I think 17 or 18 and under is better. This one, she once told my cousin that she was there. So I had a cousin had just given birth to our second born. So she said, she kept on telling these people, backbiting me, I wish my daughter was very near. I would have, you know, bewitched this woman, and the husband takes, like, my daughter takes over the husband. You understand? They are in your home.
40-year-old lady.
40 plus. It was like 45. But no, she was a lady who had worked at our friend's home, and they had gone to America. They had gone abroad, and so we thought bringing her over would be good. But my dear, the ending wasn't that good, because all her wishes were, hey, how can these people be like this, married in peace, when my daughter is there not married? I wish, like, wishing that her daughter was the one who is married.
Was she telling someone? Was she telling?
Was telling my cousin. I had a cousin who was in P7 back by then, and she would tell me, Aunt Baba, you know, like, you know, big sister, I wish you send away. They said, this is what she said. And by then I was really young. And then I had the ones which are 25, I had the ones which are 30, but I'm telling you, you can't instruct them. You can't tell them, maybe I need some help here, first wait to, she'll answer and be like, let me first finish with what I'm doing. And she literally continues with what she's doing.
Sure.
So pick a maid according to your age. If you know you're 30, you can't bring a maid who is 35. Or 25, pick a maid at least 17 will be able to look at you as a boss than the other one. Yeah, so you're right about the age.
Sure, the age really matters, and it's an important aspect when we are choosing our maids.
Though also not too young. Again, the penguin ones that we love, the 11.
You train and you're calling, you know, you call her here, do this, do that. In the end, you're in a struggle. So I think it is one of the biggest issues. We have to choose the right ages, at least someone who is relatively good. Yes. Then also another mistake that we do, do not be like, do not eat from our food. You know, eat something separate. Let her eat what you eat. Let her eat what you eat, so that just in case of anything, she knows that she really is preparing something that is clean, that you rely on, because she'll also feed from it.
I've had a first-hand experience. I saw this with my own eyes. We visited a couple, a very respectful couple. And then I went out. We had all the meals you can imagine, like a buffet on the dining. And then I moved outside for a call. The maid has a room of their own, which is not bad. But what I saw was the maid was eating guinness and matoke. And we were feeding on totally something different. And these are people that I respect so much. It hurt me. I was like, what? Actually, in my home, I've made serve themselves. Whether you want food, which is how much, whether you want how many pieces of meat to chicken, you leave them to eat, because they're also human beings.
Sure. That's so true.
And the other thing was disrespecting them. The other mistake that we do as wives or mothers, we disrespect our maids in front of our children, even themselves disrespecting their rights. The maids, another version of disrespect is the money. Like, you, what does she need the money for? You don't pay them on time. It is okay even if she doesn't use this money to buy things regularly. She needs to feel like my boss respects my work, and she's being paid relative, you know, in accordance to the amount of work. You can't expect a maid who is in a home of one baby, 2 rooms, okay, to be paid the same money as a home, multi-rooms, 5 children. You listen, those chores. But some people, I even have friends who beat maids. Someone tells me, I just get my husband's belt, I beat the hell out of her. But that disrespect your children are seeing. They are watching, and that is exactly how they are going to treat that maid when you're not there.
Apart from them treating them like you have treated her, there is also a possibility that they will drive the anger because you beat her. She would easily beat your child.
Revenge.
Please try to treat her the way you'd want her to treat your family. Otherwise, you're causing conflict, you're causing hatred in your own home by yourself, especially ladies. We have to think about that.
And our last point, but not least, this one is a syndrome to every working mom. I don't know, to mothers who are home, who are stay-at-home moms, but I don't know. We think that these people have to do our work in our house exactly
how we do it, how we expect it, or how we do it.
Maids have different ranges of mental ability, even abilities, physical ability.
Just like our own children.
Just like our own children. But you know, it's so easy for you to tell your girl or your daughter, you know, Serene, it's okay, I'll help you with that. But for the maid, you feel like, you know, it is 11 p.m, you just come back, she didn't wash. Get out and wash her clothes. Like being perfectionists. What do you think about that?
Of course, like I said, even our own children, we would want them in a specific way, but God created people differently. You know, try to be understanding. Try to compromise on some things. I know you might want things as perfect as possible, but they're human beings. Maybe at least if you find your children well, if your children are not skilled, if they are not hungry, please, as mothers, I know some of us are very big perfectionists, but please try to at least move in accept some situations as long as they're not really bad. Take that and accept it.
So may I think on that note, the bare minimum of a maid, even if however much would want them to wipe the windows every day, you know, to wipe the bedrooms, like those things you feel like they want to. I think one of the solutions I've seen friends do, and myself, is to outsource manpower for certain things. Know that the maid can never do everything the way you want it to be. Give them an allowance, and also help around yourself. Help as much as you can. If you feel you're either nursing, you're having other things that are taking you, that are, you know, you can't clean the windows, outsource. Outsource someone to come and just scrub the entire yard, or clean the windows once in a while. And you know, this makes the maids feel at home, makes them feel, you know, catered for and recognized.
Yes, that goes back to the aspect of us being too. Then the other point that I would want to talk about is compromising red flags. It's one of the very big mistakes as mothers or parents really do. Always you would see something, there would be something that would tell you this person is so and so, and you know, so don't compromise. Maybe they're barking at your children, maybe even in front of you. That means that's a red flag. What about if you're not around? They are, try to see. Don't compromise red flags.
They are not even proactive. You see, you really do it intentionally. You leave them to see if they can feed the baby, or can be notified when the baby is crying and know that I think the baby needs to feed. You realize that someone, their mind is not on the children. Someone whose mind is not on the children. I don't think as mothers we need that kind of person.
Of course, because of course, without children, like when we had just gotten married with my husband, we didn't need anyone after all. Why would you need someone if you're just two? But one of the reasons why we get them would be to help us still with the children. If there are red flags, especially with your children, with your health, do not compromise. Do not compromise.
Thank you so much, Vicky, for having us once again, Mrs. Mabike, the one and only.
We need to take care. Please. Thank you so much for being with us. God bless you abundantly. We love you all.
Thank you so much, our viewers, for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you around. To our new viewers, please consider subscribing and let's grow this family together. To the old viewers, thank you for coming around once again. Please be sure to comment in the sections below what have been some of the mistakes that you encountered or you did as a person who is using maids or is still was using maids. Thank you from us to you. Bye. This is our crown moment, and today Vicky again takes the crown. Thank you for being a great mom, wife. Wow, you've done yourself